Hey guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about all things music. And today, we're going to be doing a companion video to a video I did a couple of years ago called 5 Albums to Get You into Symphonic Metal. This is 5 underrated symphonic metal albums because in the first video I highlighted the obvious picks. In this video, I'll be highlighting some that you might not have heard of, even if you are a symphonic metal fan. So, let's get through the rules really quickly. 1, only 1 album per artist, and 2, these are in no particular order. So, without further ado, let's get started with...
She was the one who never broke your heartstrings. She was the virgin in the ice sleep too. Didn't you say that it would last forever? But when she fell, she broke a million hearts for you.
Starting things off, we've got Beneath the Veiled Embrace by Pythia. These guys are an English symphonic metal band, and they kind of sound like early Nightwish, and they do the sound really well. The production is pristine, the vocals are beautiful, and oh my god, the instrumentation is all very big and epic. And also the lyrics are pretty interesting. The most interesting song on this album is Army of the Damned. This song is, at first glance, it just seems like an epic fantasy song about an army of ghosts who are forced to walk into battle every night. But if you dig even a little bit deeper, it gets really depressing. Like, it talks about how these ghosts miss their families, and how they were just trying to give their wives and children happy lives. So it's actually a pretty heartbreaking song about the horrors of war. And yeah, as someone who's pretty anti-war, I kind of approve of it. Other great songs include No Compromise, which is very catchy but tells the story of some prisoners who are put into a really torturous labor camp or something. Yeah, kind of appropriate given what the U.S. is doing to undocumented immigrants right now. But anyway, there's also some songs like Sweet Cantation, which actually is an epic fantasy theme song, along with Ride for Glory, and those two just sound epic. And then there's the song Sarah Bury Her, which was a single, I believe. And that one is extremely catchy, even though it is quite dark. Pythia are still around to this day, but they have a different vocalist now. I haven't checked out any of their newer stuff, I've only heard their first 2 albums. But those first 2 albums are both epic. Yeah, this album is fantastic, and I think it's kind of cool that it came out of the UK, considering they don't get much symphonic metal over there. But if you want a country that gets quite a bit of symphonic metal... Here we have one of only 2 albums by German symphonic metal band Arven. This may be one of the best symphonic metal albums, musically speaking, because songs like Music of Light and Raise Your Cups, those 2 songs are, how do I say this? Extremely catchy, and they have a very unique folk influence. And then there are more aggressive songs like Dark Red Desire and World of Hatred, which have great guitar work. Another thing I appreciate about this album is the variety. Like, you have songs like Raise Your Cups and Music of Light, which are basically party songs. There's the angrier songs like World of Hatred and Dark Red Desire. And then there are the emotional ballads like Till Death Do Us Apart and My Dear Friend. You'd think this would give me emotional whiplash, but in all honesty, it just adds to the album experience and actually adds some nice variety to it. Sadly, Arven ended up breaking up after only 2 studio albums, and while their second one is solid as well, this is my favorite out of the 2. And it's a shame these guys didn't last longer because they had some serious potential. Now, for a personal favorite, wow, 2011 was a good year for symphonic metal. Anyway, this release by French symphonic metal band Wildpath may actually be my favorite of the 5 albums I'm going to be talking about in this video. Kind of ironic since I can't remember the name of it half of the time. Seriously, guys, you're a symphonic metal band. You're supposed to have names like The Silent Force or Consigned to Oblivion. Not Underneath. What kind of boring name is that? Anyway, let's get back on topic. This album is excellent. The shimmering production, the sweeping instrumentation, the beautiful vocals, and the catchy hooks all make this an incredible listen, and songs like Dive, Anchored, and Frozen in particular are extremely catchy. Every single song on here is at least good, and a lot of them are downright great. And my personal favorite on here has got to be the song Reviver, which legit sounds like Diablo Swing Orchestra. If you don't know who Diablo Swing Orchestra is, they're a symphonic metal band that incorporate elements of swing. And yeah, it's a cool sound, and Wildpath actually do a really good job of trying this sound out. Wildpath haven't released an album since 2015, and according to Metal Archives, the band's fate is unknown. I haven't checked out any of their other stuff yet, but believe me, I will. And if it's half as good as this album, I'm probably gonna love it. But if you want something a bit more recent, now that's how you title a symphonic metal album. This is an album that was released just last year by symphonic metal band Elvellon from Germany. And it sounds a lot like early Nightwish, and it has some gorgeous vocals and sweeping instrumentation to back it up. Songs like A Vagabond's Heart and The Aftermath of Life hit me pretty hard emotionally, and songs like My Forever Endeavor, Unbound, and A Legacy Divine are also pretty epic sounding. Honestly, though, my one problem with this album is that it's pretty single-heavy. Yeah, there's good deep cuts here, but honestly, songs like The Aeon Tree and Last of Our Kind just don't do much for me. I enjoy every album on here, but yeah, if I had to pick a least favorite, this would be it. Still, if you want a recent symphonic metal album that is above average and has the classic sound, but is still somewhat fresh. Check this out. You might enjoy it. But anyway, let's end this video with an unexpected find. A symphonic metal group from the United States.
Midnight eternal. It's always darkest before the dawn. Midnight eternal. Fallen as rays of the night goes on.
Midnight Eternal is the only symphonic metal group from this side of the Atlantic that I've heard. And they're pretty damn good. They're catchy, with songs, especially songs like Till the Bitter End, Shadow Falls, and the title track from this album as well. And sadly, these guys never released anything beyond this album, so this side of the Atlantic gets exactly one symphonic metal album. And yeah, another thing I really like about this band is the singer's voice. She has a pretty unique voice, and I can see some people being put off by it, but honestly, she kind of reminds me of late 2000s, early 2010s era Sirenia, and that is a compliment. Another thing I like about this album is the ambition shown by ending this album with an 8+ minute song about the horrors of religious trauma. Yeah, the closing track, First Time Thrill, is all about someone who was raised in a super religious household, basically taking a bunch of risks in order to rebel against said household, and honestly, it's pretty dark. Great job, Midnight Eternal. It's a shame you guys broke up after this album, and I hope you get back together one day. The American continent could use a band like you. And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.